From Los Angeles, this is Montserrat Radio. You're listening to Montserrat Radio.
In the spirit of the war against fake news, Montserrat Radio presents The Fake News Show, conspiracy news and a different point of view of current events. And now your hosts, Benny Wilson and Thomas Christian.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Fake News Show. This is your host, Benny. Today is Sunday, May 7, 2017. It is almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Pacific time, and I'm broadcasting live to bring you shocking news to all of you. For those who are not in my chat room in Facebook, for those who are not in my Facebook page, which is Facebook/ The Fake News Show. And you'll see my new icon where there's a newspaper says The Fake News Show. For those who are not in my chat room, I announced yesterday the shocking confirmation from the elite that they planning to actually do the RB in July of 2017, this July. And for those who follow me and keep following me, you understand that I actually told that they did not confirm the news until yesterday. They did. So I follow the last information, which was April, but April was gone in ORB. And then I came out and said the shocking truth, why it didn't happen on April. And the reason why it didn't happen in April was because those people, the banksters and the elite within Iraq, they hate the fact that after we, and I mean we, the people in the United States, after we bombed the hell out of their country and killed millions of people, they hate the thought that we are gonna so-called cash from their misery after many years of war. But we got nothing to do with the governments or the new order and the plans of the banksters has anything to do with it. So that's why we need to understand the fact. So now they're confirming me that the RB will be in July of this year. But as part of the new agreement that I got with these people, with the elite, is that before I will only stick what they telling me. So now I will question what they telling me. And there's a reason why I'm making this announcement. Why I doubt about this intel. Because I've been telling you for a long time already that Iraq must, and the word is must, they must use the surprise factor in order to revalue. So I will go ahead and continue with the news, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna try to put all the pieces together. Okay? I'm gonna try to put all the pieces together so you understand what I'm talking about. Because it may sound like a bad news that they will do so in July, but after I'm done with this show, you understand that there's still hope that it can happen at any time, at any day, just like I've been telling you. So I will use what we got in hands, what we see, so you understand exactly my point. And the only way I can prove you that what I'm telling you, it is 100% facts, and I'm making bullshit like the family dragon stuff and all that. I'm gonna make my case. Why is the fact that they are planning to do it like that at any time, any day. Okay? So let me go through the news first. By the way, I also have told you many times, because I need to have that verification. I need to actually confirm my information before people start attacking me. Because even when people attacking me, it's because they don't listen. And I keep asking, I keep repeating the same words. And I will tell you about those attacks later on in this show. This show is going to be a little bit longer, because I want to make sure that everybody understands what's going on. Okay? So let's go to the news first. The first breaking news today was that France decided to elect Emmanuel Macron, as the new president of France. Am I surprised? No, I'm not. Why am I not surprised? Well, for one thing, the elite, the actual elite, they are struggling to get in power. See, they lost already control of the United States through the election of Donald Trump. And for those who are the believers, the incoming election of Donald Trump was prophesied 10 years before he even became a president. Before he even announced he wanted to become a president. And we know by the prophecies of King Clement, Mark Taylor, and others, that Donald Trump was elected to restore the United States of America. So God did not mention any other people that would restore the law and the constitutional rights of every citizen of the world. He only mentioned Donald Trump to restore the United States of America. So why France is paying this hard election? Because France for many years, and this is something you are not going to like to hear from me. I don't care. But you got to face the truth. France for many years has been anti-American. We deliver him. We freed them from the Nazis. We have constantly supported that country. And they have always go against the United States of America. You don't believe me? Just remember what they did after 9/11. I'm not going to go on with this. But if you just pay attention to the word in the Bible, those who curse you, I will curse them. Those who bless you, I will bless them. That is why Europe in the next year and in less than 5 years will not even be the shadow they used to be. That is why it was important, this election. So we need to pay attention to what's going on, because although it has nothing to do with the RB, you need to know where you want to travel, right? France would not be one of those countries. Let me tell you that. Alright, so let's go to the news. I also wanted to tell you something. Le Pen, before I go on with the news, Le Pen told Macron that whether he accepted or not, France was going to be governed by a woman, either by herself, or by Merkel, the president of Germany. Why? Because Macron is a puppet, and Merkel is the number one puppet leader of the globalists. And if you notice, every time that she get a picture, she always make a sign of a square sign with her hands, with both or her hands. Look around in the internet. That square means the elite. It is the eye that oversees everybody. And she does it purposely, because the elite always use signals. So what is the signal for Macron? Most of the time he wears black and white. Black and white means the elite, Illuminati. Look around. Interesting, isn't it? So let's go back to the news. So we got in the news that again, and this is news. I'm not making this up. You can go to the Baghdad Post, okay? The BaghdadPost.com. It says Mosul to be fully liberated within few days. And this is an announcement of a military. that they said that Mosul will be fully liberated in few days. Few days means 4 days. Now, let me remind you what I've been telling you, that I don't like to bring the news. And the reason why I bring the news is because people demanding me. People not demanding me, because nobody had the mentality to demand me. And I'm going to tell you why. But people are asking me to bring the news. The people like the news, right? Okay. The reason why I've been telling you that I don't like the news is because they're only giving us what we need. That's what they want. But they're not giving us what we want, which is the truth. I've been telling you this, okay? So, it says that Mosul will be fully liberated within few days. Now many gurus are saying, and they're not believing anymore about the media. What I've been telling you all this time. Do you see why I'm one step ahead, or even 3 steps ahead of everybody? Because they're lying. They're lying. Let me remind you. Let me remind you this, okay? They started with 24 hours, didn't they? Then, after 24 hours, they announced another news. Oh, we got 36 hours before the liberation of Mosul. Then we got another news that said, hey, we got 72 hours. Then they say, in the next few hours, Mosul will be liberated. I have been posting all this news on my Facebook page. Have I? Yes. So they're not telling the truth. Now they're saying that in the next 4 days, it will be liberated. Now let me just tell you, because I just got like 3 emails telling me that. How big is Mosul? And I'm going to tell you how big is Mosul. According to my research, Mosul is less than 1 mile. So I'm going to place one city within Los Angeles. The city is called Hawaiian Gardens. It is the Hawaiian Gardens. It's located in the city of Los Angeles. It is about 94. Yeah, here it is. It's 0.96. Less than 1 mile. Mosul is 0.75. Now, it is a very small city. According to the last update of the map, and I'm going to post that map again for people to see it. I'm not just saying this to make this out. I want you to understand this. According to the last map, it is less than 4 miles. The place where it's controlled by ISIS. Yet, they keep prolonging the liberation of Mosul. They keep extended the liberation of Mosul. Then I told you from the very beginning, they using Mosul for excuse. I've been telling you that. And let me remind you what I told you back in April, back in February, back in March, back in January. I told you, if we don't have a revaluation by the end of April, we will have to wait years to come. I told you, didn't I? Did I change my mind? Well, let me just tell you something. They're not showing that they want to revalue. And this is a shocking news that I'm going to give you. And I'm going to make my point clear why I think they don't want to revalue. That doesn't mean they're not going to revalue. I'm just telling you that they don't want to revalue. Okay? There are 2 different things. One is that they are being pushed and they are being pushed, and a lot of pressure is on them because they want to get paid. When I say they want to get paid, who are the least? The bank, the World Bank, the IMF, and Donald Trump. They all want to get paid. So they put in pressure on this corrupt system, the corrupt system in Iraq. So I'm going to make my point very clear in why I believe that what I've been telling you all this time, I'm right. So let's go to the news. Because only by listening to the news, you will understand that what I've been telling you, it is the truth. Alright, so what is the other news? The central bank. I've been telling you also that we need to watch the news from the banks. We need to actually follow the banks. The banksters. That's what the money is all about. We need to pay attention to the news. We got not one, we not got two, we got 3 news from banks today. So the first news is the central bank extended the period of the national bond sale. You can find this news in the Dinar, Iraqi Dinar chart.net. The central bank extended the period of the national bond sale, meaning those bonds are worthless. They're not gold backed standard. They're not backed by gold, although they have Iraqis filthy rich and they can easily back it with gold. But why did they extend it? Why did the central bank of Iraq extend the sale of the bonds? Because right now, the Iraqi bonds are worthless. They are worthless because they have not raised the value. Okay? Pay attention to this. I'm going to post all this news on my Facebook page. So the only reason why they're going to stand is because, number one, they are planning to pull the RB. Now, when do they extend it? They are saying May 15. That's the date. Pay attention. They want to extend it to May 15. They can actually come out on May 12, have they? What it is the other day that I told you? I told the people there are 3 dates. We just passed one. May 1st was the first day. May 12, it is the second date. What is the third date? May 25th. May 25. That is the third date. Pay attention. Now they're saying they're gonna extend the sale of the bonds. Now hold that thought. I'm gonna tell you another news. The other news is the central bank. There's another news, okay? The central bank governor says no room to cancel the sale of the dollar window. If canceled, the exchange rate will become 3,000 or 4,000 and perhaps more. Meaning, they are telling us that they don't want to stop the sale of the dollar. They want to keep their currency attached to the dollar. Look how they contradict themselves, okay? The central bank is telling us that they want to extend the sale of the bond for a worthless bond that has no value because they haven't raised the value of the currency. And then the other news says we don't want to cancel the sale of the dollar, because if they cancel the sale of the dollar, guess what's going to happen? They need to raise the price of the dinar. They need to raise the value of the dinar. So why are they telling us? There's an old saying that says, don't do what I tell you, do what I do. That's the old saying, right? So we need to pay attention. Together, you and me, we're going to analyze the situation and we're going to figure out what the hell are they going to do. So follow me on that thought, please. If the central bank do not want to stop the sale of the dollar, they will keep it low and devalue. If they want to extend the day until May 15, it may be because they want to raise the value. So they're giving us two different divert and conflicted information. Why are they doing it? They doing it because, again, I told you, they need to implement the surprise factor. Haven't I tell you that? They're not going to make it so obvious so the whole band of criminals come out and destroy the dinar. The criminals that I'm talking about are the currency manipulators. George Soros. Remember what I've been telling you. You're not going to be listening this news to your guru, because your guru doesn't know crap other than the dragon family and the aliens coming over to help us. That is the reason why I'm questioning my elite contacts by telling me that they want to do it on July. No, I'm not attached anymore. I don't have the chains on myself anymore. Now I can speak freely. And I can tell you right now, they are about to revalue. When? I just give you the dates. May 1st was the first date. May 12th is the second date. May the 25th is the third date. Okay? So we're still hoping. And I keep saying, keep the faith strong. Keep the faith strong. Because by the end of this show, I will give you my testimony. Yes, you think I forgot about my testimony. No, I haven't. Let's continue with the news. The other news says 70% of the dinar are outside the banking sector. You can find this news on my Facebook page after I finish my show. You can also find it on dinarvets.com, this article. So I'm referring to real links, real news that are outside, and I'm going to use them to prove my case. Why 70% of the dinars are outside the banking sector? It has nothing to do about, well, others telling you, with all the respect, that the reason is because they don't have purchasing power. No, that's not the reason. I got people in Iraq. I know what the reason is. And the reason is very simple. Nobody within Iraq trusts the government. Nobody within Iraq trusts the bank. And now we also need to remember what the banks inside Iraq are trying to convince the people to bring their money into the banks. They have come out with programs and plans, savings and interest checking plans that no other country in the world are implementing. They're desperate because if they want to raise the value of their currency, and let me repeat that again so you understand. If Iraq wants to raise the value of their currency, they must have their currency running inside and outside the banks. They only have 70%. They have 70% of the dinar outside the banks. Nobody wants to deposit in the banks. Whose fault is it? They fault. They created that. By committing corruption, by stealing to the people. That is your reality. That is the truth. I have people from Vietnam praising me because they listening to my show. And they know that I'm telling you the truth. It has nothing to do about by not having a currency that is revalued. No, it has to be about trust. And how many times I have told you about trust? If you don't have trust, it doesn't matter it doesn't matter how much time you have spent with a loved one, with your boyfriend or girlfriend or wife. It only takes one thing only to destroy that trust. And once that trust is gone, that's it. No relationship. There is no second chances. Keep dreaming. That is what's happening in Iraq. People do not trust the banks. How will they accomplish that? It may take them years. Again, what did I tell you in the beginning? If we don't see a revaluation, we might have to wait years. You see what I'm talking about now? Do you understand now? Now, let's go back to the news. Alright, so we got Mosul to be fully liberated, which that's bullcrap. It's not going to happen. Then they started. Then the central bank said that they're going to extend the sale of the bond, which is contradictory to the other news that they're telling you. So, what exactly is happening? Why am I at least telling me that they're going to do this in July? Well, for one thing, if you notice now, they're going to be extending. See, that the whole truth is that Iraq doesn't need a real revaluation. It doesn't need a revaluation. And why? Because they already done it for 25 years. They've been doing okay under the dictatorship of corrupt government. Okay? So they can milk this situation for many years. They've been doing it. They've been requesting loans. And now their doors are being closed because Japan, which is a huge economic power, are saying, I don't trust you. You're going to steal my money. You're not going to pay the debt. And we see the bank telling Iraq, hey, finish your damn economic reform. We see Washington doing the same thing. We see the World Bank. We see the World Bank doing the same thing. They've been put pressure on the elites who wants to get paid. Pay attention. Who wants to get paid? The elite. Donald Trump wants to get paid. Who's telling us to wait until July 7th? I just split the date, sorry. They want us to wait until July. Because who's that? That's Donald Trump. Now, which, by the way, everybody's assuming that Donald Trump is going to come over to Iraq between the days of the 17th and the 24th. That's what they're saying. And I told you, Donald Trump has not ratified that visit. He hasn't. He hasn't. They already asked him. He said, I'm not ratifying it. He's not answering. So he may show up in Iraq to announce the liberation of Mosul, if that in case happen, or it may not happen. We just gotta wait. Right? Now, notice how the gurus are coming out with the date of the 7th to the 24th. And I'll say that my third date, which is it? The 25th. So it's up to you. Well, you need to analyze all this information and put all the pieces together. And you will see why that my final opinion, it is that they still will revalue before July. They will revalue before July. For the same reason, same logical reason. They cannot announce it. They can afford to make this event obvious. They need to protect themselves. So for those people who are emailing me and chatting with me and crying on me because I'm being negative, that I putting your dreams down. I ain't putting your dreams down, honey and sir, because I do not control the RB. I'm only sharing my information. You need to keep your faith strong. You do. You need to keep your faith strong. And now I'm going to give you my testimony. The reason why the elite who's listening to my show told me that to keep my testimony for a better or worse day was because they are planning to bring chaos. I repeat, in my last meeting, one of the elites told me, Benny, we understand that you want to give your testimony. And I said, yes. He said, why don't you keep that day for a better or worse day? Don't do it now. And that caught my attention. That really caught my attention because, these people don't like to be questioned. I cannot just tell me, what are you saying there? Well, why are you telling me this? Tell me. No. You don't do that with these people. They don't like to be questioned. They just give you the information. And I'm sorry for that noise for the airplane about my house. They just give you the information and they expect you to just get the information, analyze it, and do whatever you want to do. They don't care. That's the situation. But you see, I do not follow their orders. I follow the orders of my Lord. And I hope, and it's in my best wishes, that what my testimony, it is served to the glory of God. Now, my testimony, for many of you, you're not going to like it. Because many of you are not Catholics. I am Catholic. And I call everybody who believe in Jesus my brother and my sister. Because by the end, it's about Him. And we Catholics love Him. We Catholics also believe in Him as our Savior. So He is my testimony. I probably was 9 or 10 years old. I'm the last member of a 5 kids family. Coincidentally, my name is Ben. You figure out. When I was 10, let's assume that I was 10 because I'm not even sure how old I was. All I know I was a little kid. When I was 10, my mother had a very, very bad case of throat pain. So after many, many days of not being able to sleep, she went to go and see the doctor. I was 9 or 10 years old. Back then, information was really hidden from me because I was too young. Now, I'm not going to give you more details about my family because I want to keep my information private. So I will just give you what happened. My brother, my older brother, came out to me and he started talking to me about things like how can I handle myself, or how would I be handled, and how my life might be without my mother. So I knew from there that they were hiding something away from my mom. That her condition was really, really bad. Now I know now what was the condition. But back then I did nothing. I didn't know nothing about it. All I knew is that she was supposed to have a surgery on her throat, and they just told me, oh, they're just gonna pull out their her tonsils. But I knew there was something bigger than that. So they gave her the date, and it was about 3 weeks from the day they told me it was. So I had 3 weeks. So during those 3 weeks, they were preparing me and my other brothers, for the worst. See, back then, in the 70s, technology was not as advanced as it is today. Back then, in the 70s, we had several news of people just dying just for a simple removal of the tonsils. Especially if you live in a country so poor like my country was. It is. So I was devastated. I was really afraid that something bad was going to happen to my mom. So, being so young and probably not involved in church the way it's supposed to be, I looked desperately for a miracle. Because this was something that was out of my control, right? So I noticed a virgin that was close to my house where I live, and I used to live in a very humble building. Within those complex of buildings, there was a Virgin Mary, a Virgin of Guadalupe, standing there. And nobody even took care of her place where she was. So, for some reason, I would walk every morning, every afternoon, between 6 and 6:30 in the afternoon. I would walk to her, and on my way, I would cut flowers from other people's garden, and I would do it every day until the last day where my mother is supposed to get her surgery. So I remember that I used to do that every single day. I used to cut flowers, and people did not like that because these people took care of their flowers or their roses, and when they catch me, they would tell me, get away. So I will do it in such a way that nobody noticed, just to leave her flowers, roses, to the Virgin. And while I was praying so hard to her, I was always reminding her, you are a mother. Don't leave me alone. I don't want to lose my mom. And I keep doing this for 3 weeks until the last day. And the last day, I cried so much that I just looked at her. And for a moment, I thought that she smiled at me. She smiled. And I thought I'm going crazy. She just smiled at me. And she said, don't worry. Your mom will be all right. I stood up and I ran because I got scared. I ran. The next day, my mother was getting prepared for the surgery. And all of a sudden, the nurse came up to her and said, we're going to prepare you for the surgery. We're going to give you a shot. So you'll be seen by the doctor, and they're going to do the surgery on you. All of a sudden, my mother wanted to throw out. She told the nurse, I need to throw out. Can you please pass the bucket? She passed the bucket, and before she even grabbed the bucket, she started throwing out. What she expelled out from her mouth called the attention of the nurse. Immediately, the nurse called the doctor in turn. And the doctor in turn came over and saw what it was on the floor. Then that doctor called some other doctor, and before we knew it, there were over a dozen doctors taking a look at the thing that my mother vomited. What my mother had was a tumor. She vomited the tumor. And my case did not come out in the news. It didn't. The doctors actually, they took a look at her, and it looked like the tumor her body just threw up the tumor out of her throat. They couldn't explain what happened. They just couldn't. Nobody could explain what happened to my mom. All they knew is that tumor was out of her body. No need to do the surgery. No need to even, do the C-section. Nothing. Nobody knew what happened. So when I found out about it, it was very shocking. Up to this day, it's hard for me to talk about it. That, my friends, is faith. That's what I've been saying all this time. Keep faith. I live in with a miracle every day. She's 93 years old. 93. She's my miracle. And when I say keep the faith strong, it's because I know miracles happen. That's all. That is my testimony. For the first time ever, I share my testimony. You can do whatever you want to do with this testimony. The bottom line is that if you don't have faith enough, if your faith is not strong enough, you're not going to change your reality. I did. I changed my reality. And it's still living it. My reality is still living it. So, now that you know my testimony, I will end up my show. Thank you so much for listening to my show. And I'll see you next time in another edition of the Fake News Show. Good night.
Thank you for listening to the Fake News Show with Benny. See you next time for more conspiracy news, current events, and intel from the most controversial show from Montserrat Radio.